all right. Check one, check two. This is it. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour with your host, me, Rob Cantrell, coming back for another exciting episode. I am on a picnic bench, a red picnic bench in the park. And I have a red-eye coffee, actually. This all goes together. I'm on a red picnic bench. I'm not showing, it's a great stable, I have a mini tripod, so it's a great stable, and I could sit here. I got notes. I took notes for this episode. And I have a red-eye coffee, an iced red-eye coffee. But the weather has gotten so good, and I couldn't find a good place. Like, I've been winging this. Like, I've been going to the park and just vibing out and trying to find kind of the suitable, easy to do, but where I could feel comfortable talking to you guys. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I'm Rob Cantrell. I'm your host. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Like and subscribe. You don't even know how much that does for me. Hit the like button, subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, do it all up. That's how we are gonna blow this up. Subscribe and check out my Patreon. I need some money so I can go around the world and talk to people about coffee and herb. I got some great, it's from this Swedish coffee shop in Brooklyn. Conditori, I believe it's called. I've talked about them before. I like their beans. But they have just like on their menu, it's just called an iced red eye, which is literally a cold brew in a shot of an espresso on ice, and I hit it with oat milk. And I actually got some sun-grown cannabis, some outdoor grown. It's not that strong. This dude's been sitting on it forever, and he's like, dude, he pretty much gave it to me because it's just not that strong, but I like it. Because I do like to monitor my buzz a little bit, you know. I could use some sour diesel. You guys know I like the diesel. I'll mix that in there, but this is just like sun-grown cannabis. It's about a couple months old. Like, it's not like sticky icky. It's like kind of dried out, but sometimes that's just good when you're on the run. And I ground it up. I got this great wooden grinder that I got in Jamaica years ago. That is just wood and nails, but it's made in Jamaica. It just got a good smooth finish, and it's I like grinding in it. I like all the metal grinders and all that shit, but I got rid of everything that was kind of skanky and resinized in my cannabis, stuff. Like, I only got one clean glass one hitter with a wooden tip from Marley Naturals. I recommend this. This is probably the best one hitter I've ever gotten. And I'm getting better with cleaning it. I'd say if you want to check out some good cleaners, check out Zen pipe cleaners. Those are really good. Yeah, I'm just chilling in the park. It's a beautiful day. I walked over here. I mean, I could show you guys, but the light wasn't that great. And I'm using a little tiny tripod, but there's my picnic table. There's back a big lake that I just walked around. There was funky ass swans and ducks. I didn't know much about ducks growing up. I mean, geese. There's a lot of geese around New York. That's how that dude got caught in the plane and everything. Scully had to land the plane. Got some geese. But yeah, there's goose shit everywhere. So you gotta watch out when you're in the park for goose shit in New York City. But yeah, I got a great one hitter, au naturel. Oh. It was a little bit sleepier. I'm over where like people like fish over here. People actually like camp and shit. But it seems so mellow. It's such a nice day. And you do smell herb everywhere. And it's like, I think after the pandemic and everything opening up, it couldn't be timed better. I know maybe there's going to be some growing pains in society, But on a whole, everybody's so, I know I'm on edge. Not on edge, but just kind of like, I'm just done thinking about shit. You know, it's almost gotten like society has worn the hard drive out, you know, with all the worry and stuff like that. But I'm still COVID safe. I vaccinate. I struggle with my friends that aren't vaccinated, but you know, not to go biblical, but you know, I'm not my brother's keeper. You know, that's just it, man. People got to do what they got to do. I know I've been taking flu shots since the 80s. No, I've been vaccinating all, you know, dude, I'm all about I'll get a booster in my balls. I've said that before, but I don't want to make this shit about this. I want to talk about big ass swans. Because I was walking, there's like 3 big swans and their necks are just crazy, man. A swan's neck is just, and then when they fly, you don't see them fly a lot, but when a swan flies, man, it's pretty graceful. I mean, the word grace comes from swan. Swan song, Led Zeppelin, it all ties together, brah. Every time you bring up Led Zeppelin, you gotta smoke a little weed. That's what somebody told me. But yeah, I'm wearing I had a sweatshirt on, but it started pitting out on me. My organic deodorant didn't really take the heat. But I did a couple loops, man. I must have hit my 10,000 step mark. In New York, you're always hitting your 10. I mean, even when I'm not trying, I'm throwing in 5,000, 8,000 steps. But I'm ready to get back out there, man. I'm going to Virginia this weekend, man. I'm driving. I'm going to leave Saturday. I got a show on Sunday in Roanoke. Holy shit. If you don't know anything about my connection to Roanoke, check out Pure Uncut Joy, my album, and listen to the very last track called Fresh Festival, which is a story. If you like storytelling, it's a story about my very first concert, which was the Fresh Festival. I must have been 12 or 13, and the lineup was Grandmaster Flash, Houdini, Run DMC on their second album, and the Fat Boys. And they I've talked about it, but just go listen to the bit. I'm not going to talk about it. I've put it out there in the universe, but it's so golden age. It's even before it went popular was that first concert. I can't describe. It was like seeing, you know, if you know nucleus, the nucleus of an idea kind of just happen and explode. And I was privy to it, and there wasn't that many white kids in Virginia, in Roanoke, Virginia, going to check out this concert. But thank God my mom drove me there, and I went there. So yeah, it's just a beautiful day. The birds are rocking. I'm wearing a white sweatshirt, a Carhartt sweatshirt, a t-shirt. I love a good white t-shirt, which is my favorite trap song by the Migos. I'm not a big trap dude. I don't know. I'm having a lot of, I think, awareness. I think as you grow older, and I think everything's changing. But, you know, I love hip hop, and trap is something else. You know, it's almost like funk and disco almost. Like they're cousins, but it's not 100% the same thing. But I like it, and I like the melody, and the flow, and the bounce. And the Migos definitely got that white shirt, that white t-shirt song. I dig that. But I'm kind of like moving away from super coked out rhymes and super gangster shit, just because you have to watch the media that you take in. But I mean, I could listen to Nas all day. People don't understand, like, you know, that first Nas album is pretty much ingrained in my brain. Just like everybody. But it's just like media and music, like we're consuming it all so fast and different. And tastes change and people change and vibrations go on and on. But coming back to the source is what I dig, is what I'm trying to do with the Cannabis Coffee Hour. And the source is coffee, man. I don't know. Today I forgot to make cold brew, and I like to make cold brew the night before. Because this bad boy, this is almost $5 coffee, you know? And I already had like half a French press of hot coffee. And because I didn't make iced coffee the day before, so I just put ice. What I do is get the coffee cup and I just kill it with the ice, and then I pour hot coffee over it. And that will give you a good iced coffee, and it dilutes kind of the, in the morning, sometimes like if you're just pouring boiling hot coffee to your gut, that might not, you might want a cheese biscuit on there or something before you do that. But yeah, so I'm wearing this t-shirt and I love it. It's a Carhartt t-shirt. And even though I haven't done any manual labor in a while, I did work in restaurants for a minute, and I was down in the basement cooking. And I remember, nothing like moving kegs to a basement. That's some scary work. I saw some dudes doing that. Like those big, like those rollers, and you gotta go, and roll them down the stairs. Whew, my ankles are so weak, man. But I shouldn't say that. I've been trying to do 20 deep knee bends every day. And I have a deflated basketball that I need to get it pumped up. It's just laying around the house, but I hold it in front of me when I do the 20 knee bends, and it feels great. But I skipped it the other day, and I skipped meditation. I've been off and on. I had one night that I just woke up at 2, and I couldn't sleep, and it threw me off for like a day and a half. I don't like going out there now with dodging COVID and Super Delta. I gotta have a whole night's sleep, mostly like for the mental game too, because you gotta make decisions so fast these days, especially with the internet and walking around New York. Like the new thing I say, if you come here, watch out for delivery people on these bikes, man. I love bikes. I love bike culture. I love the electric bikes. I've been trying them out. I always wanted an electric trike. If I was gonna make my wish, it would be a not a tricycle, but like the bike with the basket on the back, and then have that electricized, maybe with some shocks. I like when the fork in the front, you got the fork in the bike fork up front, if that has some BMX like shocks, that would be kind of rad. And then some fat tires on the back of the trike, and then one of those metal baskets just for the bullshit. I'm trying to get rid of my bullshit, removing things. That's a very Zen concept, is removing things from your life. And I have been doing that. Like the one thing, I was off meditation for a day, and I felt like I was almost slipping back to negative Rob, negative Rob, negative Rob, negative Rob. He's in there. Positive Rob is in there too. And what we're trying to do is even let go of Rob, the ego. That weed is pretty good. But I'm in the trees, everybody. I love this nature. I love this backdrop. I got my flip sunglasses on, my big rec specs on, my spectacles, and then flip down Dwayne Wade style. Dwayne Wayne. Trying to pronounce things better. And I know I say ums a lot. You guys gotta stick with me. I'll cut them down as I slow down and work on this podcast. Gotta work hard. Gotta make sure I do it. But this is the work I want to do. I'm sitting on a park bench, listening to Jethro Tull. Sitting on a park bench, down. There is some creepiness in the park, you know. There's also some not lawless, but you know, there's just junkies, man. It's just the one thing I like about Zen Buddhism, or even, you know, all of it, you know, spirituality, is like seeing the bigger picture, you know, just seeing the bigger picture that maybe somebody's going through some shit, you know, they had a funky 5 years and they took a dark turn. And then you're the one that has to counter them in this dark turn. But somebody's life, you know, people change around, and you just want to make sure everybody's vibe is good. but you can't force it. You can't tell them. Lately I've been thinking about my consciousness, or what is consciousness. And I am consciousness. Like, this thing is consciousness. And then when I'm dead, like, when I'm just the wood, when I go back to the source, the planet, I walk away from the consciousness. Maybe that's a way of looking at it. It's like when you're alive, you're a part of the consciousness, and then you walk away. And then, I don't know, I don't want to talk about life and death so much, but you do have to contemplate it, and it does kind of give you a sense of, like, I don't want to bring it into my world. Oh man, there's a dope-ass bluebird. I want to look at bluebirds. I don't want to bring, darkness into my world, but you also have to be real and know that, just in order to have light, you have to have dark, so it's just like, those vibes are always there, but our job is to turn on, your love light, straight up E.T., when E.T.'s heart started glowing, woo, and then his fingers started rocking, woo, making that love connection. Turn on your heart light. But yeah, so I'm wearing this Carhartt, and I was thinking about it because I saw two dudes, super hipstered out dudes the other day, but they had some great Carhartt. I like it. It does. I know people rag on people that don't work manual labor wearing Carhartt, but it is good shit. And they have this thing called whip. It's another higher level. I think that's they understand, everybody understands the different markets now in terms of clothing and shit. So Carhartt even has an expensive style, but you can find different shit, and people roll out shit. I've been looking, but I don't know if it's the label or it's the make. But I was just like, it's weird how it's gotten, it kind of fits the middle class as well as the creative class. I think that's what it is. There is a creative class. Well, I'm kind of getting beyond labeling. Labeling, when you put things into a box, that's when, people poke at it. But I do like this red eye, even though the ice has melted completely. The quality of the coffee is really good. So yeah, I did want to think, but is Carhartt good or is it bad? It's good. It's a good product. Yeah, some people fake the funk, but like I said, I do think I like wearing it, and then I also look at people and make fun of them for wearing it. Because everybody's a hypocrite. I mean, not everybody, but it's I'm just trying to remove myself from good and bad, and looking at things as good and bad. Things are just things, and this t-shirt is just this t-shirt, and I like the way it fits. Right now, I like it that it's a white t-shirt because I love that Migos song. No, because it's a white t-shirt is very cooling in hot weather. If you're wearing a black t-shirt in hot weather, you better find some shade. But if you wear a white t-shirt in hot weather, it gives you an advantage. You could be out there longer. It keeps you cool. For some reason, the wind passes through it. Isn't that wild? So yeah, trap, white t-shirt, like Migos. I love that flow, but I was just thinking about the difference between hip hop and trap. The thing is gangster rap came over, and then even 50 Cent in the club, and then it just, the beats got so good. These days, I'm playing with beats and stuff, and I'm learning about all the plugins and all the different, it is endless. That's what's beautiful about the world and the internet, that it's kind of endless right now. And if you are creative, it is all right there. You know, you could take it however you want to do it. You know, um, but drink a coffee in the park. But it's about being kinder, because being kind is actually being kind is harder. Being positive is harder. If, like, I think about that, like, what is the real tough guy? The tough guy or the person that's kind to the tough guy? But you don't want to be too kind. Sometimes being a pushover, yeah, you just need to be authentic. Keep it moving. Sometimes you gotta be the tough guy, but you could be the kind tough guy. That's the move. Like, you ever met a cool bouncer? A bouncer that's like on the good side, like looks out for people and doesn't kick people out for smoking pot and like is down for the music. And then you meet a bouncer that's just there to whip people's ass. And I've known both. But sometimes you need those cats around. Hopefully not now. I don't think so. There's a lot of peace in Brooklyn. And I think talking about violence, I guess all that stuff, like even guns, like talking about it brings it, you know, in a lot of senses. Like you could, if you really wanted to go through life like a yellow submarine in essence, you know, because it's inside your heart. That's my new thing. It's like, no matter how trippy the outside world or desperado or end of times or confusing, in my heart I try to get centered, and yeah, that's the safest place it is to be. I'm thinking about buying some wheat thins. Have you had wheat thins? I went through a big wheat thin phase, but it's hard to figure out what to put on wheat thins. Like cream cheese is good on wheat thins. Peanut butter's not good on wheat thins. Cheese, it's a little too crunchy. They're almost, I think hummus and cream cheese are like, but you can't do like Cool Ranch dip or anything. I had some instant mashed potatoes, man. If you want to know something, get a bunch of bags of instant mashed potatoes. I had some the other day, and it would just hit me. I think just the change in seasons, how it's gotten colder and shit. Like it just makes you hungry. You get the hankering, and you just want to rock some fucking mashed potatoes. And that's what I did. I just made like, right at 2:00, I made just like, it was like chives. It was like instant mashed potatoes, you know, cost at the grocery store probably like $2, $2.50. But you just add boiled water. It was just boiled water and then that. And then it had this like, it was like Cool Ranch flavored mashed potatoes. And I ate a whole bowl of it. And I actually had some pork product. What was it? Pork tenderloin from the night before. And I chopped that up and I fried it. I kind of blasted it on my little pan. And then I put it on top of the instant mashed potatoes, the Cool Ranch instant mashed. That was a crazy meal. But it hit the spot. And I came up with it on the spot. Like this episode. I'm loving this episode. This is like the most comfortable episode. I feel like I'm literally in the most beautiful room ever. You know, I'm in the trees. It's blue skies around. Look at all these ducks behind. Look at all these geese behind me. There they are. Oh my God, there's like 20 geese. I never knew that. Are you guys picking that up? Isn't that crazy? Look at those guys. Let's see if we can get those guys in the background. I didn't want to, I liked it in the trees because it didn't glare out. You can't barely see them because it's the shade, but there's like 20 of them all around me. They came over. Maybe they didn't like the podcast. They're about to fly south for the winter, just like me. I'm rolling down to the Roanoke Comedy Festival. Check out tickets. It's a simple event thing. I think there's like 3 shows. Shout out to Tony Deo's going to be there. Tony Deo and I went to middle school for a couple years together, and he's also a comic, and he's performing at the festivals. I saw a couple good lineups. It's going to trip me out, man. I went out the other night. I've turned down 2 gigs when I've gotten there because I still wig out, because I had to hang out long beforehand, and everybody's in there like all young, 20 bucks with no masks, making out and shit, and at these little clubs and bars, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going in. I just go home. But it's starting to open up, and I like it. I hope it opens up. I hope it keeps on opening. I hope the live events, but I'm hearing all these comedians getting sick, and I just haven't gotten sick, and I don't want to get sick. You know what I mean, Geese? Let's see if we can get a good shot. There they are. So cool. Such a great office. I got live animals. Thank God I became a comedian and quit my job way back in the day. I just made it. There was a point where I was just like, I have to do something creative. My mind just doesn't work. In the 9 to 5, it was just sales, or it was sales or teaching, and my temperament wasn't good for either of them, and I would get depressed, and just because I wasn't doing comedy, and I wasn't writing jokes about wheat thins, but I could use a little bit more activity, man. But walking's enough. But maybe I'll do some. I would like. If I was young, I would maybe do some parkour. Parkour looks good when they nail it, but what they don't show, or sometimes they show, is like the billion times they fuck up their knee or fuck up their leg. It's weird what we'll do to put ourselves in danger for something we did, because those guys will do it. You know, they'll jump those stairs. You see some dude in South Africa or London or Europeans, they're all about that. I think it's just hella boring. And they all got sick of the internet, so they all had dope-ass cameras on their phones, so they just started doing parkour. Hardcore parkour. But these geese are all fucking chilling, and I love them. You could fish in this lake over here. This is an actual lake in Brooklyn. Marley Naturals one hitter, wooden backstem. Probably the best one hitter around. Flips, sunglasses, you could put these on your regular glasses. Because buying prescription sunglasses is such a fucking power move. But people lose them. So then all of a sudden you just threw down $350 for prescription sunglasses, maybe $250, and you lost them at the game because you had too many IPAs and your buddy had some Mega Kush, some Mega cookies. Shout out Burner Cookies brand. I've been following that dude's music and that dude's lane for a while. That's just some Bay Area shit, man. The cannabis space is wild, and it's very diversified. And that's what I always liked about it when I went and hung out at High Times. That, yeah, I guess when you hang out with weed smokers, it is a lot of diversity. Because everybody likes weed. I think that's what these geese want, man. They're coming at me, man. They're coming at me sideways. So yeah, I got a little bit of the espresso. I'm hanging in the park. I've been listening. You want to check something out, is the spa playlist on Spotify. That's what I've been doing the more. I've been burning incense. I used to never burn incense, but I got some good incense with essential oils. But I got the old school, like, it looks like a snake coil, but you got like your incense. So I'll do that in the morning with but while I'm stretching, I'll put on the spa playlist on Spotify and really zen out, man. This dude was playing saxophone in the park, like a really good jazz Brooklyn fucking heavy cat, and he was just playing in the field when I was walking through. And I can't tell you that much about jazz, but I will say when I was in San Francisco, I did a benefit and it was a benefit for a jazz church. That's what it was. But jazz music I like because there's no talking. Like, I don't know that much about jazz, but I do like when there's no talking because, like, I do love hip hop, but lately I've been thinking it's just been like mantras. Like, it's something to psych yourself up to and, like, think positive thoughts like, yo, I could rock this, I'm doing this, I got that, you're almost manifesting. But with jazz, you can lose your ego and you can kind of dance. I think that's the thing, is like, it's a little bit less ego in jazz. Or maybe it has a super ego. But it's more, not like personality driven, I guess. It's more on skill, and you find yourself within the beat and how the beat rocks. Or not even the beat, the groove. And you can listen to it and open up. But listen to me. I think I'm boring you with me talking about jazz music. But it can be zen, I don't know. I was listening to spa music, That's what I like about spa music. And then I do listen to this one, like, mantra thing that helps me too. That is just like tones. That's when you were supposed to do like ohms, like om. You're pretty much just riding a vibration, because everything is a manifestation of sound, or like, what am I thinking? Consciousness. All of consciousness is a vibration. And I remember Bill Hicks saying that and talking about that when talking about tripping on acid and how of a great concept that is. The idea of consciousness being a vibration, which is, the whole thing of vibes and whatnot. But then we got the physical body. Ow, my knee hurts. Ooh, my teeth ache. Ate too much sugar. But we got ducks. We got this lake. Look at can you see that all these geese? There's literally like 50 geese, but I have to be I bet nobody's sitting over here. I bet I'm just covered with, yeah, this is just all goose shit, which just comes out great. Goose down though. Man, there's something about goose down. These guys' feathers, ooh-wee. You could have a quilt, you could have a sleeping bag. Even if you don't like sleeping bags, if somebody gave you a goose down sleeping bag, it's just extra soft. It's like these guys have the best coats on. These guys sleep like kings every day, these geese. Or are they goose? The feathers are just so soft, so good. And it's a trip that they're here. I just had somebody just walk by, and I always get self-conscious about myself when doing this. But like, even within the second, everything is new. You know what I mean? It's like, I just looked around and I saw tree stumps, and then I just looked at this goose, and he was chewing, and it was like, and I could just, life is just amazing. It really is absolutely amazing. And this couldn't be no wonder I saw two swans come. This is the most graceful day. And I Left the house without my phone today. I was all backwards. I don't know, something's in retrograde. Um, Something's funky out there. But right now, I'm loving doing the cannabis coffee hour, even though my coffee's all melted. It's all melted. But there was an espresso, and it was good coffee, iced coffee. And this day is perfect, and it's not too hot. It's like today was almost an iced coffee day. I mean, a hot coffee day, and then it turned, right now, it's like an iced coffee day. Like, it flipped the switch. I do like that Drake song, Flip Like a Switch. Flip it like a switch. And then I guess TikTok blew up because everybody did that switch thing. Like I said, media and songs and music. I got a new song out, What I Got. Go check it out. It's on Spotify right now. I think I may have a remix coming out soon. But I don't know. I'm just laying low on all announcements and trying to live in the moment. And dude, I gotta tell you, there's 20 geese here, 20 geese over there. I'm surrounded by geese. I got a lake. Look at this wood, au naturel. This is the greenest podcast. Fuck everybody else's podcast. Well, I shouldn't be that way, but this is the best studio. Look at that blue sky, good lighting, awesome coffee. Oh man, and the glorious chalice of the gods. This day couldn't get better. That's the problem with podcasting in the park. The days are too good. It's too nice out here, and then I get lost, and then all of a sudden I'm spacing out on the podcast. I've been listening. You know who rocks? I mean, as lyrics go, but I was talking about jazz music, how I don't like vocals, but on the flip side, like really good lyrics, like there's something like. Artful, cool lyrics I always liked. I do like reading the liner notes. I liked when they printed out the lyrics. I remember reading Nirvana's Nevermind, all the lyrics in college when that album came out. I read all of Paul's Boutique. They fucking printed all the lyrics of Paul's Boutique on the CD covers. And I would sit there and read that all the time in class. Or wherever I was, that was just like one of my things. As was drawing, doodling. Man, I could doodle. Talk about doodling. I did so much doodling in high school. But I'd like drawing now. Like I said, I use all those like the adult coloring books. I don't know if I'm on the spectrum or not, but I use them as ways to get off the internet. I think going to tactile, but I want you to like and subscribe and get on my Patreon so I can make more stuff for the internet. But I think there's a balance to it all, and we're all figuring it out as we go along the life ride. But I do think things that don't involve computers are going to get popular. Like, I've been thinking about making a bench or a wooden thing like this picnic table. I would love to make a picnic table. The picnic table, it's a perfect design. It's solid, it's big. Like when you sit here, you do feel like you can eat, you can draw, you can read. This is a great business desk. That's it. I am gonna build a picnic table. I want to get out there and get the wood. I used to love shop. I did shop class back in the 80s and loved it. The sawdust, the smell of sawdust, the saws, the building, the glue. I loved shop class. But yeah, this is a great day, a glorious day to do a podcast. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. It's one of my favorite projects. It's getting to the point where I just want to pull up and do this anywhere, because I'm doing this on my phone and a lavalier mic right now. And look at this shot. You can only see this shot on my Patreon page, but literally like the bluest of blue skies and a lake behind me. And this is all for free. I walked here. It's just not rented space. Because some people are doing that with like podcasts and stuff. I see everybody has the big, huge Shure mic with the fucking arm joint and the fucking two fucking lazy boys going at it, boom, boom. But, yeah, like Neil Young, man, his lyrics, he's not perfect, but his singing is so funky and awkward and weird, but his lyrics are awesome and it's so unique. I was like, look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. I don't know which song that is. I know it's one of his main songs, but I fell on this YouTube that had all of like Neil Young's greatest hits all lined up on it. Like, it wasn't a greatest hits albums. It was just because he has a lot of obscure shit, but then he has some stuff that didn't make like the super masses. He has like a lot of the middle part where there's some fucking jams. And Keep on Rocking in the Free World. I was thinking about that. That is one of the best rock songs, one of the best songs ever. That's up there with like Prince and shit. Like, to me, Prince has got some of the best jams. Van Halen has some of the best jams. Led Zeppelin has some of the best jams. There's so many jams. In terms of stuff that kick out the jams, MC5 definitely kicks out the jams. Stuff that rocks. Keep on Rocking in the Free World. Look at these geese. Keep on Rocking in the Free World is one of the best songs, man. It's it's like, part of life is being cool, you know? Or setting it, I don't know what cool is, but it's just like finding your own groove and rocking it out and doing it to the max and just being yourself and enjoying it, you know, for what it is, which is nothing, and just weird and crazy and wild in your own manifestations and your own love. Right, geese? But yeah, keep on rocking. All the war and negative, just like, I think it's talking about like how fragile life is. And if we keep on treating life not as fragile as it is, because it's such a gift to like be able to go see concerts and go see shows and hang with your friends and smoke herb and go do comedy and there's a guy on an electric fucking longboard. I've been talking about it since, seeing more and more. It scares me how ballsy everybody is, man. I see dudes older than I am just like on electric longboards, just flying through traffic. But this one dude was on the sidewalk and bummed me out. I do get old man style like that when bikes could start jumping the curb and being on the sidewalk, because you just don't know. Yeah. I don't want to bring that into my life, so I need to not worry about it. But these geese seem to really like this podcast. Why wouldn't you subscribe to this podcast? Great herbs. This is sun-grown, au naturel, Wyoming herb from this new farm this dude told me about. So they're just trying it out. But he had this laying around. But I do know it was grown in the sun. Got great coffee. This is a Red Eye, which is a cold brew. This is for everybody that's just tuning in. I know I've said this before. But I'm just enjoying the vibe, you know. These geese are tripping me out. Being able to publicly smoke. I know you're not really supposed to smoke in the park, but you know, I'm just doing it discreetly and away from everybody, deep. And it just trips me out that society is going to be this way, and I love it. Well, hopefully all the natural legalizations are going to happen on a federal level, you know. I don't know. Again, I don't want to talk politics, but the legalizing of herb across the nation would be dope. Whoa. There's all the geese flying south for the winter. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you, and I'll check you out next time on the Cannabis Coffee Hour, next month, or next week. I may have a guest, I may not, but I got some big guests coming up. But I like doing the solo joints too, and just getting used to it. So, peace out.